This is the part 2 and the conclusion of the story titled Living with a Witch. This is Regina and Peter. Peter has been bewitched by Regina. Remember, in the part 1 of this story, Peter happened to be Victoria's boyfriend and Victoria was Regina's roommate. Remember, Regina tormented Victoria to the point that Victoria packed her bag and traveled when everything was too much on her. Now, Regina has taken over her boyfriend, Peter. When Peter closed from work, on his way going home, he branched to say hello to Regina. When he came, he knocked at the door and Regina opened the door. Regina was so happy because her plans has been working perfectly well for her. Peter has been won over by her. She took Peter to the corner to sit down to discuss, and they discussed to a length. After some time, Peter decided to go, but Regina refused and insisted that Peter must sleep over. Peter could not say no because he has been bewitched and is under control of Regina. He followed Regina inside. In fact, Regina had to push him indoor and he has no option, no will of his own. He moved indoor and spent the night with Regina. The following day, when it was morning and Peter was ready to go to work, it looked like Peter was well taken care of. But I know of a truth that this is something that Peter wouldn't have accepted to do with his clear eyes. Though, after nice treats from Regina, Regina saw him off. After seeing Peter off, Regina came back and was full of herself. She was so proud that she has control over everybody around her. She was so happy that she has won Peter over. But one thing is sure, her plans towards Peter can never be the one that will favor Peter in any way. But my prayer for Peter is that before help will come, let his pieces remain. The landlord has been watching closely and tirelessly. He has been watching from far and from near. And from the look of things, one will strongly believe that he has a very big role to play in saving Peter and victory. But let's continue and see what happened. When Regina moved indoor, he came by, peeping around as usual. The spell cast on Peter by Regina was really working, because later in the evening we saw Peter coming back to Regina's house carrying all his belongings. He has decided to move in to start living with Regina. So many men are under this kind of influence, but I pray that God will help them. Let's continue the story. Regina has started his assignment. He went inside and came out with Peter's document, his office document. Just like what she did to Victory, she took Victory's document and sent it away to where nobody can explain. Now she has gathered all the document that belongs to Peter and came out to send it away as usual. She stepped in front of the house with all the document, stretched her hands out, and everything vanished into the thin air. And this is where we saw the ability of the landlord as well. From what has happened right now, it was so obvious that the landlord has his own powers, because when the book was sent away from Regina's hand, landlord got it in the air and went indoor with it. Regina had the feelings that something has happened in the line of her mission, but she could not put her finger on it to say exactly what happened. But she has always been suspecting the landlord. When it was so clear to Regina that the landlord has been standing on her way, she decided to go and silence the landlord. But let's see if she will succeed. a full-blown man wasting away in the arms of a woman. You see, when a man cannot pray, when a man cannot find his ground in the place of God, he will always be or end like this. Look at Peter. He came back from his office crying like a baby because all his office documents in his position has been missing and he could not give account of how everything went. Peter has lost his job and he came back home shattered. Just like they say that every day is for the bad ones, but one day is for the owner. Look at Peter and Regina outside enjoying themselves. Little did they know that something was about to happen. As they were busy enjoying themselves, Victoria landed. Victoria landed with her mommy G.O. to take possession of what belongs to her. But let's see if Victoria and her mommy G.O. will win this battle. As soon as Regina saw them close by, she stood up and automatically she has known that something was about to happen. Victoria was shocked to see Peter, her boyfriend, with Regina in the house, together in the mood that she found them. She started talking to Regina, asking Regina what she has done to her for her to have the mind to treat her the way she did. But Regina was not sorry or felt remorse for what she did. She boldly told Victoria that Peter belongs to her right now and there is nothing anybody can do about it. And she went to drag Peter away into the house, and that was when the battle started. Let's see who wins the battle. After the battle, the landlord, who has been by the corner peeping and observing what has been going on, stood by the corner of the house speechlessly and staring into the space. Mommy G.O. started advising Peter and Victoria to live a good life, the life of God, and be prayerful, consecrate themselves, and also study the word of God. She told them that life outside what she has told them will always lead to crisis, and exposed them to a lot of battles, just like what they went through in the hand of Regina. When everything was over, Victoria received a knock at her door, and she quickly opened the door, and it was the landlord. The landlord surprised her. He gave her the document that she has been looking for a long time. When she received the document, she was expecting the landlord to explain to her how he managed to get the document. But the landlord told her not to worry what happened and told her to thank her God who gave her victory over her friend Regina. After that, the landlord left and she moved indoor. I know that a lot of people are going through a case like this, exactly what happened between Victoria, Regina, and Peter. But I have a word for you. Listen, I have 3 passwords for you that will guide you and will always make you victorious in cases like this. Number 1 is prayer, and number 2 is the word of God, to study the word of God. But the third one happened to be what will fuel the first 2. It's like a sustenance to the first 2, and that is consecration, keeping your body and avoid any kind of defilement. And God called that sacrifice, even service unto him. The book of Romans 12 verse 1. Please, we need to set people free. Join me to do that by sharing this video. Share this video. Let us set people free out there. And thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, this is House of the Sons Global. Bye for now.